Hello all, welcome to my channel Study Together with Naresh. Now let's start today with the topic number systems, and the topic in the number systems for today is tests of divisibility. Now what is meant by divisibility test? Let us say a number 50, and this number 50 is divisible by 5. What does it mean? It means when you divide 50 by 5, the remainder is 0, and it is the meaning of divisibility. Sometimes the numbers are very big and we want to know what number exactly divides this big number. In these cases, instead of performing the whole division, we can apply some tests to find out whether a particular number divides the given number or not. And these tests are known as divisibility tests. And these tests are known as divisibility tests. Now let's begin with the very basic divisibility test, the divisibility test for number 2. If the number is said to be divisible by 2, if the digit in the units place of a number is divisible by any of these numbers, the numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then that number is divisible by 2. So in this case we have to mainly concentrate on the units digit of a given number. If that unit digit is any of these numbers, then that number is divisible by 2. If that number in the units place is not of any of these numbers, then that number is not divisible by 2. Now let's see some examples. Here see 86. The units place of this number 86 is 6. So the number in the units place is 6, and just check whether this number is of the numbers of these. Yes, this number, the unit number of 86 is among these numbers, hence this 86 is divisible by 2. And let's check another number, 1384. Here also the units number in the unit place is 4, and this number is the number among of these numbers, and hence this 1384 is also divisible by 2. And let's take the big number 8,18,320. So don't worry when a number is very big, you just concentrate on the number in the units place. The number in the units place here is 0, and just check whether this number is among of those numbers which are the rule for divisibility test of 2. And yes, this 0 is the number among these numbers, and hence this 8,18,320 is divisible by 2. Meanwhile, just check here 75. The units place number is 5, and this number does not exist among these numbers, hence 75 is not divisible by 2. The same way 2927, and 7 is also not there among these numbers, and this is also not divisible. And just check this big number, the unit digit is 1, and 1 does not exist among these numbers, and hence this number is also not divisible by 2. Like this you can check whether how much big the number be. You can just concentrate on the unit digit, and if that number in the unit digit exists among these numbers, you can say that number is divisible by 2, how much big it can be. And if the number in the unit digit does not exist among these numbers, then you can say that number is not divisible by 2. So this is the divisibility test for 2. Now let us check the divisibility test for the number 5. The rule for the divisibility test for the number 5 is, if the digit in the units place is either 0 or 5, then the number is divisible by 5. This means the number that is given to check whether it is divisible by 5 or not, if the unit digit of that number consists 0 or 5, then you can say that that number is divisible by 5. If the unit digit of that number does not have 0 or 5 in its units place, then you can simply say that that number is not divisible by 5. Now let us see some examples here. Just the four numbers taken randomly, and the number 120, the units place is 0, and hence if the units place of the number which is to be tested whether it is divisible by 5 or not has 0 or 5 in its units place, then you can say the number is divisible by 5. Hence 120 is divisible by 5. In the same manner, let's check this number 2385. Here also the unit digit consists of 5. So hence this number is also divisible by 5. The same way, let's check this number 527. Here the units place has the digit 7, and the 7 is not divisible by 5, hence 527 is not divisible by 5. In the meanwhile, 12,929, the units place of this digit has the number 9, and this 9 is not among these numbers 0 and 5, hence you can say this is also not divisible by 2. Now let us check the divisibility test for the number 10. For the divisibility test for the number 10, the rule is if the digit in the units place is 0, then the number is divisible by 10. This means the number which is need to be checked whether it is divisible by 10 or not, and if the unit digit of that number has 0, then we can simply say that that number is divisible by 10. And if the unit digit of that number does not contain 0, then you can say that number is not divisible by 0. Now let us see some examples. Here we've taken some numbers randomly, in which 150, 150, the units place is 0, hence you can say the number is divisible by 10. Here 980, here also the units place is 0, you can say the number is divisible by 10. And I have taken some big number 50,150, here also the units place is 0, and you can say the number is divisible by 10. How much big the number be? You just concentrate on the units digit, and if that unit digit contains 0, it is divisible by 0. If the unit digit does not contain 0, then it is not divisible by 10. Here 7482. In this number, the unit digit consists of 2, and so that this number is not divisible by 10. And I have taken another big number 2375964. Here also you can say the unit digit is consists 4, and hence this number is also not divisible by 10. How big the number may be, you just concentrate on the unit digits. If the unit digit consists of 0, then that number is divisible by 10, and if the unit digit does not contain 0, then you can say that number is not divisible by 0. Now let us check the divisibility test for the numbers 3 and 9. The rule for the divisibility test for the numbers 3 and 9 is if the sum of the digits in a number is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. If the sum is of that number is divisible by 9, then the number is divisible by 9. Note here it is SUM sum, not SOME sum. So the rule for the divisibility test for the numbers 3 and 9 is if the sum of the digits of a given number which is to be checked whether it is divisible by 3 and 9 or is if their sum of the digits is divisible by 3 and 9, then you can say that number is divisible by 3 and 9. If the sum of that number is not divisible by 3 and 9, then you can say that number is not divisible by 3 and 9. Now let us take some examples here. I've taken some numbers randomly and a table to check whether how the number is to be checked whether it is divisible by 3 and 9. Here the number 21. Just add the digits of this number. Sum of these digits is 3. 2 plus 1, 3. It is 3. And whether 3 is, check whether this sum is divisible by 3 or not. Yes, 3 is divisible by number 3. Hence, this number is divisible by 3. And check whether this number is divisible by 9 or not. No, 3 is not divisible by 9, hence this number is not 21 is not divisible by 9. The same way, the number 186, the sum of these numbers is 8 plus 1, 9 plus 6, it is 15. Here 15 is divisible by 3, hence the number 186 is divisible by 3, and 15 is not divisible by 9, hence the number 186 is not divisible by 9. Now next let's take the another number 1917. The sum of these numbers is 18, and 18 is divisible by 3, hence the number 1917 is divisible by 3, and the same way 18 is also divisible by 9, and hence the number 1917 can be divided by number 9. Next let's take the number 2389. The sum of these digits is 22, and the 22 is not divisible by the number 3, hence the number 2389 is not divisible by 3. Same way 22 is not divisible by 9, hence the number 2389 is also not divisible by 9. The next number is 484920. The sum of the digits is 16, 18, 27. Hence 27 is divisible by 3. Hence the number 484920 is divisible by 3. And same way 27 is divisible by 9. Hence the number 484920 is also divisible by 9. The next number is 65744. 26. The sum of the digits in this number is 26. And 26 is not divisible by 3, hence the number 65744 is not divisible by 3. 26 is also not divisible by 9, hence the number 65744 is also not divisible by 9. This is how the divisibility test for 3 and 9 goes on. Hence here we should note some points. Here is, since 3 is a factor of 9, yes, since 3 is a factor of 9, as we all know, 3 is divided by 9 is divided by 3. If a number not divisible by 3, then it is not divisible by 9. Hence 3 is a factor of 9. If any number that is not divisible by 3, then definitely that number will not be divisible by 9 also. But the reversal is not possible. It means if a number is divisible by 9, it doesn't mean that it is divisible by 3, and if a number is not divisible by 9, it doesn't mean that it is not divisible by 3. But if a number is divisible by 3, it will be divisible by 9, and if a number is not divisible by 3, then it will not be divisible by 9. The same way, so this is the point we have to note down in the rule of divisibility test. And now let us check the divisibility test for the number 6. The rule for the divisibility test of number 6 is, if a number is divisible by 2 and 3, then we can say that number is divisible by 6. Means to know whether the number is divisible by 6, we have to check first whether that number is divisible by 2 and 3 or not. If that number is divisible by 2 and 3, then we can say that number is divisible by 6 also. For this, let us take some random numbers. Here the number 3480. For the number 2480, let us check the divisibility test for 2. As we all seen earlier, the divisibility test for 2 is the unit digit of that number should contain the numbers among 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and hence the unit digit of 3480 is 0. We can say that number is divisible by 2. And to check whether that number is divisible by 3 or not, we have to add the sum of the digits and check whether that this sum is divisible by 3 or not. The sum of these numbers is 15, and that 15 is divisible by 3. Hence we can say the number 3480 is divisible by both 2 and 3. Hence we can say this number 3480 is divisible by 6. like that. Then another number 24989. Hence the unit digit of this number is 9. We can directly say that this number is not divisible by 2, and hence this number is not divisible by 2. We can directly say that the number 24989 is not divisible by 6, as the rule here for the divisibility test of 6 is that number should be divisible by both 2 and 3, and hence here the number 2 does not divisible by 9. Hence we can directly say that the number that is not divisible by 6. Let's take another number 735. Hence the units place is odd number. We can directly say that this is not divisible by 2. Hence the number is not divisible by 6. No need of checking for the divisibility of 3. The next number is 148624. Here the unit digit is 4. Hence this number is divisible by 2. Now let's check for the divisibility test of 3. For the divisibility test of 3, we have to add the sum of all the digits and check whether that sum is divisible by 3 or not. 1 plus 4, 5, 13, 19, 21 and 25. So 25 is not divisible by 3. Hence we can say the number is not divisible by 6, as the rule is the number should be divisible by both 2 and 3. Here the number is divisible by 2, but it is not divisible by 3. Hence it is not divisible by 6. So this is the divisibility test for 6. And here note, any odd number is never divisible by even number, but the reversal is not true. You can just note here, any odd number, if the number is odd number, you can directly say that it is not divisible by the even number. But if the odd number, the even number can be divided by the odd number, but the odd number cannot be divided by the even number. This is the note here. So this is the divisibility test for 6. Now let us check the divisibility test for the number 4. The rule for the divisibility test of number 4 is, a number is said to be divisible by 4 if the number formed by its last two digits is divisible by 4. The rule here is, if you want to check whether a number is divisible by 4 or not, first of all you have to check the last two digits of the number. If the last two digits of the number are divisible by 4, then you can say that the whole number is divisible by 4. If the last two digits of that number are not divisible by 4, then you can say that the number is not divisible by 4. Let's check some examples here. Let's take a random numbers. The number 5 through 4, 24. In the number 5324, the last two digits are 24. The 24 is divisible by 4. Hence we can say the number 5324 is divisible by 4. The next number is 714. In the last two digits of this number is 14, and 14 is not divisible by 4. So we can say the number 714 is not divisible by 4. The next number is 712, and 12 is divisible by 4, and we can say that the number 712 is divisible by 4. Now let's take a big number 6879376. In this number the last two digits is 76, and 76 is divisible by 4. So we can say the whole number 6879376 is divisible by 4. Now let's take another number 573. Here the 573, the last two digits of this number 573 are 73, and 73 is not divisible by 4. Hence we can say 573 is not divisible by 4. And like that the last two numbers also. Let's take the number 5762. Here also the two digits of the number 576 are 62, and 62 is divisible by. Now let's check the divisibility test for the number 8. The rule for the divisibility test of number 8 is, a number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by its last three digits is divisible by 8. Hence here we have to concentrate on the last three digits of the number, whether to know if it is divisible by 8 or not. Now let us take some random numbers here. In the number 36,848, if you see the last three digits 848, hence 848 is divisible by 8. You can say that number 36,848 is divisible by 8. Now let's take the number 3755. In the last three digits are 755, and this 75 is not divisible by 8. We can say that 3755 is not divisible by 8. The same manner, let's take the other number 65,728. Uh, the last three digits in this number are 728, and check whether 8 is dividing 728 or not. 8 divides 728 once 8 91 times the 8 goes in the 728, hence we can say the number 65728 divides the number divisible by number 8. And let's take another big number 16789352. The last three digits in this number are 352, and check whether 352 is divisible by 8 or not. And 352 8 once and 844, so it is going 44 times of 8, and hence we can say the number 16789352 is divisible by 8. Now we have seen the divisibility tests for the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 and 10. Now let us summarize the divisibility tests of these all numbers. Now we are considering the numbers 2, 5, 10. We have to concentrate on the last digit of the number. If the units place of that number is divisible by 2, 5, 10, then we can say that the whole number is divisible by these numbers. For the divisibility test of 3 and 9, we have to concentrate on the sum of the digits of the whole number given. If that sum of the digits is divisible by 3 and 9, then we can say that the entire number is divisible by 3 and 9. And for the divisibility test of 4 and 8, we have to concentrate on the last two digits for number 4 and last three digits for the number 8. If the last two digits of the number is divisible by 4, then we can say the entire number is divisible by 2. The entire number is divisible by 4, and if the last three digits of the number are divisible by 8, then we can say the entire number is divisible by 8. And for the divisibility test of 6, we have to check the divisibility test of 2 and 3. If that number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then we can say that the number is divisible by 6. So this is all about divisibility test of numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 and 10.